on. Oh, hang on. Already there's problems. Oh. Okay, I think we've got that. Hey guys, sorry about that. Already there's technical issues. Hey guys, welcome back to the monthly Covenant Canon Q&A live session. For those who are new to the channel and don't really know what exactly this is, basically this is me, Nakai Vodar / Covenant Canon, answer all your questions from the Covenant Canon Q&A Discord server. Now, if you don't know where that is, it's in the description box below. You could just join up, and when you do, you can just go over to the Community tab section, and there will be a Q&A submission that you can send me your questions to. Normally they're Halo / Covenant related, but they can be about all sorts of things. Just if you want to ask away. I do ask though that it remain appropriate, nothing too creepy or anything like that. But yeah, and also I usually play some of the campaign or multiplayer depending on how I'm feeling. Just so I can keep you guys somewhat entertained while I suck at Halo, while answering all your lovely questions. And also, if I usually sometimes answer questions from the live chat, so if you want to ask questions there, you are more than welcome to. We'll see, depending on time, I will try to answer those out. Alright, with that said now, I think... Grab. Oh, hang on a moment. Let me just get Discord up and live chat up so we can get everything going. Also, if there's any technical issues or any connection problems or anything like that, please let me know, and I will try my very best to try to correct that if at all possible. Alright. So, alright. Oh, I think we're picking up from last live stream where we're taking down the Ardent Prayer. But before we do that, let's take down these engines. Let me answer this questions. Oh, it's a question. Our first question comes from Hirigingu, and he asked, oh, in the previous Q&A, I must have misunderstood his previous question. I apologize for that. And he asked, what Cybertronian do you dislike or even hate the most? Okay. Oh, what Cybertronian from the Transformer series, I mean, that I dislike the most? Oh, that's a very good question. I don't think I really dislike any, really. What? I'm trying to think. I guess if I had to pick any Cybertronian I dislike, I guess, Starscream, because he's always a scheming little weasel who always likes to steal power for some reason.
Where are the reinforcements coming from?
Honestly, I honestly don't genuinely dislike any Transformer from the series, honestly. Yeah, I guess I'll just stick with that. Okay, the next question comes from Rising Fire Spreads Its Light, and he asks, what is your opinion of Halo 4 Forward Unto Dawn? Oh, that's easy. It's one of my favorite. It's genuinely my favorite Halo, my favorite live-action Halo project to date. Honestly, I think it's the perfect way of doing a live-action Halo thing. Even better than the show. Especially better than the show. Because, unlike the TV show, they don't make Master Chief the main character of the show. They make him like a supporting role that many people know. Lasky, the captain of the Infinity, actually, is the main character. He's like the main supporting character. I love how they made the Covenant this overarching threat that just keeps looming and looming, and when they come, they don't disappoint. They just go all guns blazing. the Zealots just tearing apart everyone is just perfect. Honestly, in my opinion, For Dawn to Dawn was the perfect way of introducing new fans to Halo 4 back when it was first being developed.
Noble 6, the Savannah's countermeasures won't
This is
work
just
forever.
my
Find a way inside and permanently disable
honest opinion.
As soon as we're sure
Like I said, For Dawn to Dawn is without a doubt my all-time favorite Halo project. Oh, hang on. Let me just take care of some of these Rangers, and I will answer some more questions. Which is, Rising Fire asked another question. What do you think of Sentinel Prime as a character in the Transformers franchise?
All right, Noble. Let's get
Oh,
let's take Tom on board.
very good question there. For those of you who don't know, Sentinel Prime was pretty much the predecessor to Optimus Prime in most Transformers projects.
Colonel, on our way to the hangar.
I think the first time I've actually met him, I've actually seen him, was in Transformers Animated, and he was just this really douchey dictator type character. And the other one was Transformers Dark of the Moon, the third movie of the Michael Bay films. And I honestly liked him until he killed Ironhide and became a full-blown Decepticon traitor. And I was really glad when Optimus shot him in the face. But in terms of his latest appearance in Transformers 1, from the second I saw him, I had a feeling he was going to turn out to be exactly like his live-action persona. And it kind of had the same vibe. He kind of had the same douchebag dictator vibe that Transformers Animated had him as. So, honestly, it was just... Now, back to the original question, what I think about Sentinel Prime. Honestly, I think, compared to his successor, Sentinel was just a straight-up douchebag, honestly, in my opinion. So, back to Hirin Gingu's original question, which Cybertronian do I dislike the most? Actually, I would have to say Sentinel Prime.
Head for the bridge. Find the
Yeah, that's kind of a combination to both Rising Fire and Hirin Gingu's question. Alright, let me just take care of some of these coveys so I can answer some more questions. There we go. Alright, moving on to another question from Hirin Gingu. What do you think about the other primes in the Transformers universe? I mean the first 12 primes, just the Cybertronians with the title Prime. And what do you think about the chain swords from the Warhammer universe? Now, in regards to the last question, I unfortunately do not play Warhammer, either the tabletops or the video game, so I can't give you a clear-cut answer about the chain sword, my friend. I'm sorry about that. But in regards to the to the first question about the OG primes, I don't really know much about the lore behind them except for Megatronus Prime. I don't really know much about the other primes except for Megatronus. For those who don't know, Megatronus was one of the 13 primes, and in most of the lore of Transformers, he's like the OG Decepticon. He's like the first one, because he betrays the other primes, either by siding with the Dark God Unicron, or killing his fellow prime / lover, I think it was Solus Prime? but I do know that there was another one called Prima Prime, who originally had the Matrix of Leadership and had the Star Saber. But aside from that, I don't really know much. I honestly, just the other primes, I just don't really have a general opinion about, except that I think the lore behind them is very cool. Honestly, they kind of strike me as kind of like demigods / gods of the Transformers universe, aside from Primus himself, obviously. The most I know about the Transformers lore comes from Transformers Prime, Transformers 1, and I think, I can't think of the top of my head, and the Bay films. That's the extent of which I know the 13 or the 12 primes in this case. So yeah. Alright. I will clear out some of these cubbies and we'll watch George make his heroic sacrifice, his vain sacrifice, however. And then I will continue on to other questions. But yeah, welcome everyone in the chat. I hope everyone is having a good day, a good Sunday afternoon or morning, depending on where you live. Alright. Let me just stock up ammo. Alright, let's move on to other questions. Minister of Congression asked, what are your thoughts on Transformers 1? Oh, that's an easy one. I love Transformers 1. Honestly, it's one of the... If I have to be honest, I would rank it as my favorite Transformers movie to date, honestly. Even more than the 1980 the Transformers the movie. Honestly, I think I said this before in the previous streams, but I honestly think the marketing did a great disservice to the movie because honestly, it deserves even more even more love than it's getting right now with fans, and that's saying something. I love the journey with Orion Pax and D16 becoming Optimus and Megatron, respectively. I love the road that led them to become the hero and villain that we all know and love. And honestly, when it comes to D16's story, his fall makes the most sense. Like, he was completely devoted to a system that was corrupt and a system that pretty much took a part of himself away. And honestly, it made his anger and resentment very reasonable, very, very realistic. And honestly, it just... If I would say anything, it kind of reminds me of Atriox in the Rise of Atriox comics. So, yeah. If I would have to say anything, like I said in the beginning, it's my all-time favorite Transformers movie to date. Alright, I'm just gonna skip the cutscene and move on to other things. Let's move on to Rising Fire Spreads Its Light question. Have you heard of the song Blue from Eiffel 65? If so, what are your thoughts on it? I have not, Rising Fire, unfortunately. I'm not that much into, I'm not really a music guy, honestly, so I can't really give you an honest opinion, my friend. I am terribly sorry about that. Alright, another question from Rising Fire. He asked, do you like to travel to other countries? I would if I had a passport. I'm not really much of a traveler, honestly. I'm more of a home. I'm kind of more like a home nester kind of guy, if that makes sense.
You gotta be kidding me. That's a negative. Your eyes open,
Alright,
troopers.
let me just take care of these grunts. Oh no! Alright, just gonna pause so I can scroll on down to the questions. Like I said, if you guys notice any technical difficulties or weird things going on, just let me know. So I can try to make adjustments as I go on. Alright. So, moving on to another question from Hiragingu. He asked, actually a couple questions actually. What do you think about IDW's Transformers? I believe that's the comic series. Unfortunately, I have not read those comics, my friend. I apologize for that. Oh! Get away from me! Ooh. Okay, in this case, I'm probably gonna have to get armor lock. Back off. Ooh! Jesus! Scared the absolute crap out of me. Hold on. Oh, jeez. Jeez, come on. Get away. Jesus. There we go. Sorry about that. Alright, I'm just going to proceed on and try and take out some of these grunts. I can get away. There we go. There we go. Little chain reaction. There we go. Alright, moving on to another question from Hiragingu. What is the worst Decepticon and the best Autobot in your opinion? Oh, the worst Decepticon. I don't know if you mean like who's like the absolute worst, like who's actually just a genuinely really crappy individual, or just like one of the worst like Tweedledee Tweedledum type Decepticon. But if I would have to say the worst, I would say Starscream, because he's such a treacherous little shit. Oh, hold on. Come on, die, you broke. There we go. Yeah, I would say Starscream, because he's always scheming, he's always manipulating. He puts deception in Decepticon. Oh, hang on. And the best Autobot, in my opinion, the best Autobot, ooh, that depends, honestly. It depends on oh man. I'm gonna have to say either Bumblebee from both the live action and Transformers Prime stuff, and I would say Hot Rod from the OG movie, because he's honestly after Optimus. Actually, let me amend that. I would say Optimus Prime is the best Autobot, because he embodies like the best of the Autobots. Honestly, he's all about optimism. He's always a fierce warrior. And he's literally the embodiment of freedom is the right of all sentient beings, that kind of thing. But yeah. Hang on. Brutson. I used to really like the Brutes in Halo Reach, but I gotta admit now, they do not age well in comparison to Halo Infinite or the Halo Wars 2 Brutes, in my opinion. Hang on. Ugh. Come on. There we go. Now, on to Hiragingu's third question. Ooh, sorry about that. Have you played the Mortal Kombat games? If yes, what is your favorite part? I have played Mortal Kombat. I haven't. The last Mortal Kombat game I played personally was Mortal Kombat. I think it was 11, where we have Chronica and all that stuff. And my favorite part? Oh, that's a good question. I would have to say it's honestly I would have to say it's kind of the OG tournament from Mortal Kombat 9 where we face Shang Tsung, Shao Kahn, and all those people. Honestly, I just love Shao Kahn. Honestly. Oh, there we go. Where's the turret? I know there's a turret. Ah, here we are. Ah, here we are. Yeah, like I said, I would say Shao Kahn's tournament was honestly my favorite part of Mortal Kombat, in my honest to God opinion. Hang on. I'll get your questions in a minute. I just gotta take care of this chieftain with the hammer. Or not chieftain, it's more of a captain. Alright, moving on to another question from Rising Fire. His question is there any Transformer character that you consider to be overrated? Oh, good question. An overrated Transformer. Overrated. I would say Hot Rod / Rodimus Prime. Honestly, in my opinion, Rodimus, I don't know. I'm kind of on the OG fans list here, where I'm like more OG Optimus Prime, but the whole Rodimus thing, I don't know. It just, I don't know. I'm an Optimus guy. I can't really explain why I don't. Why I consider him to be overrated. I just do. Okay, and Rising Fire's follow-up question is there any Transformer character you consider to be underrated? Oh, that's a very good question. Underrated. Very good question. I don't know if I have an honest to God answer for you there. Oh, that's a good question.
You got an extra jet pack. Go ahead, try it on, Spartan. Welcome to the bullfight. We're gonna capture the landing pad on the executive wing so the evac bird can land. Try and keep up, Spartan.
Bumblebee? Yeah, I would say Bumblebee is kind of overrated at this point. Yeah, I can see that. I can't really blame you for that opinion there, Rising Fire. Underrated. Oh. Honestly, if I would have to say an underrated character, oh. Now this is gonna make me think a bit. I would say, actually, I do have one. Knockout from Transformers Prime. I love the guy, but I honestly don't think he's got that much of. He hasn't got much appreciation since Prime's day. Honestly, which is a dying shame, because honestly in Prime he was a standout, because I loved his how he was so focused on his paint job and being this. Oh, jeez, freaking brute! Why he was so focused on his research and being a medic and all that stuff. Well, he's pretty much like the dark version of Ratchet, while being his own little Oh, I just love it when grunts accidentally kill themselves and hurt their comrades like that. Alright, rocket time. There we go. But back to the question. Yeah, I would say knockout. I would say if I would have to bring back any Decepticon from Prime into other Transformers projects, I would say knockout. Especially with Breakdown and all that. Because honestly, Breakdown and Knockout made a quite a hell of a team. Even with Starscream a bit, honestly. But yeah. Okay. Now the question from Rising Fire. He says, is there any version of Megatron that you don't like? If your answer is Bayverse Megatron, then a version aside from that one. Honestly, I don't really mind the Bayverse Megatron. I don't like his Dark of the Moon persona, where he was just, like, kind of a bitch compared to Sentinel Prime. But back to the original question, if I would have to say any Megatron that I just don't like, I would honestly have to say the Unicron trilogy Megatron, because he always just comes back, renames himself Galvatron, and then just comes back as Megatron again and does the cycle again. It's kind of inconsistent, and honestly, his motivations and his quest for stuff is just kind of all over the place. Versus many cons, then just Energon, then the Cyber Planet keys and all that stuff. I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just inconsistent a bit. Alright. Yeah, there's a bunch of Transformers questions here. Right. Rising Fire Spreads Its Light says, how would you describe your own personality? Oh, easy. I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd that likes working out, and I'm a nerd who just likes chilling out on the couch and enjoying Halo, Game of Thrones, and other stuff. If I were to describe my apartment, think of the the apartment from The Big Bang Theory, but less uber nerd, kind of like more, well, moderately nerdy, if that makes sense. I'm not a big sports guy. I'm not a big what is it? I'm not a big. Oh, I couldn't assassinate that guy. Like, oh, where's that? Oh, where are you? There you are. Get away! Get away! God, I missed the fuel rod. I really missed the fuel rod. Honestly, I don't know what it is about the Halo Reach fuel rod, but I think it's just kind of the perfect balance between the OG fuel rod from Halo. Was it Halo 2 or yeah, it was Halo 2. Oh, jeez! Jeez, that hammer guy just scared the crap out of me. Hang on. Okay, I gotta run. There we go. Yeah, honestly, if I were to describe myself, my own personality, it's kind of nerdy, kind of reclusive a bit, but not too antisocial, if that makes sense. But yeah. Alright, moving on from another question to Rising Fire, and he asked, would you like to see a sequel in Transformers 1? Absolutely. I would love to see a 1 sequel.
We'll hold this location.
It's honestly one of my favorite. Like I said before, it's one of my favorite Transformer movies to date. Way better than live action stuff. But
pulling back. Hell, we've all got orders to evacuate. Guess some of us just don't like leaving a job half finished.
This is your ride, Spartan.
yeah, I would like to see kind of like a follow-up to the whole Quintesson conflict, as well as the rise of Megatron and the whole Decepticon stuff. If I honestly would want to see something like that, I would kind of like to see, like, the Quintessons being a main overarching threat, while also setting up the Great War that will eventually destroy Cybertron. If that makes sense. Come on, let's take that one, Chieftain. Come on. Come on, there we go. And, honestly, I would kind of like to see how far Megatron has fell apart from D16 to the Tyrant we all know and love in all other Transformers projects. But yeah. Alright, moving on to another question from Rising Fire. He asked, have you seen the Penguin show from the Batman saga? Yes, I have. It's honestly really good. It's not really my cup of tea, honestly, because it's all about crime, drugs, and that kind of thing. But it is really entertaining. It's kind of like the Sopranos of the Batman saga, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing more of it tonight, honestly.
Negative dispatch. No point.
So yeah. Alright, another question from Rising Fire. He asked, what is your favorite color? My favorite color is probably green, but the next color I would honestly pick is probably purple, and my third favorite is probably black and red. It's kind of a top three favorite colors, if that makes sense at all. But, yeah. Alright. Let me just get this Warthog. So let me pause so I can scroll on down to more questions from Discord, because there seems to be a lot of them. Alright. Let's move on to Hirigingu, and he asked, what is the weirdest thing that you have... Wait, what? Hold on. What is the weirdest thing you have ever in mind? What is the weirdest thing that you have ever had in mind? Hey, I think that's what you're saying there? I think. I probably am mispronouncing this. But, the weirdest thing? I'm sure there is, but I honestly can't tell you, honestly. No! Mine! This is gonna be mine! There we go. My Wraith. Alright. Where was I? What is the weirdest thing in mind? Yeah, honestly, I don't really know, honestly. Haha! Okay, gotta start up these, AA turrets, alright. Yeah, I honestly don't know what to tell you, man. His other question is, how to see yourself as a Transformer? what do you think about femformers? How you see yourself as a transformer? Not really. But if I were to be a transformer, I would obviously be Decepticons, because I don't know why I always like the enemy factions, because most of them are either tyrants slash genocidal nut jobs, like the Covenant. But I don't know, the Covenant honestly is one of the cooler factions I've had, and as is the Decepticons, honestly.
Covenant are banging on my bay door. I got families and wounded on board. I gotta get airborne. Easy, 7 Echo 3. Spartan's gonna clear the sky.
Alright, hang on. Let me just get in my Wraith and try and take down that. Oh, there's another one! Come on! Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's get in it. Come on. Get out! My turret. There we go. Much better one. Alright. Moving on to Hiragingu's other question is, what do you think about femformers? I mean, they're female transformers. I'm not really sure if there's much of an opinion I have on that, honestly. I mean, it's kind of natural for a species to have two or more genders, honestly. Aside from, I think my favorite femformers has to be either RC, Alita 1, or Arachnid, from both Prime and the Transformers 1,
Steady, Echo 3. That Corvette is still up there.
from Transformers 1. Oh, hang on. Let me get back in the Wraith. Hang on. Oh, hang on. I just adjust myself there. Alright. I'm gonna try and take down some of these coveys. Actually, let me just go in there. Go guns blazing with my fuel rod and rocket launcher. There we are. Yeah, there's not really much to say about femformers, aside from most of them are pretty cool. Alright. Oh! Piss off.
They breached the landing bank. Copy that. Now or never, Spartan.
Alright, let's take down these Corvettes.
Missile defense online. All evac
Alright.
transport. You are clear for takeoff. Repeat,
So,
you are cleared for takeoff.
let's move
Go
on to another
now.
question from Rising Fire. He asked, how would you rank Starscream, Sharkwave, and Soundwave according to how much you like them generally in the Transformers franchise? Like favorite of the three, middle one, and least favorite of the three. Oh, honestly, if I have to choose among the three, honestly, I would rank, probably Soundwave as first, obviously, because Soundwave is superior, and all others are inferior. Shockwave, because I love his logical streak. And Starscream as last, because like I said before, he's an absolute scheming little shit.
After the hospital got hit. I'll mark the location. Complete their mission and take out the jammer.
Alright. Let's take care of the hospital first. Alright. Moving on to another question from Rising Fire. Have you seen the Batman trilogy of Christopher Nolan? If so, what do you think of those films? I really liked the Christopher Nolan Batman's films. I love The Dark Knight. I love The Dark Knight Rises. The Batman Begins, I believe it's called. Not my favorite Batman film, but not the worst. The the Joker and Bane were just absolute standouts in those films. Honestly, I really love them, and honestly, I really hope this new Batman franchise does a really good job with Joker and all that, considering the fact that we saw him a little bit in the Batman movie. So yeah, what else do I have to say about that? No, I think that's my general opinion about the Batman movie from Christopher Nolan. Oh, there's a little Hurricane. I don't want to kill you, little guy, but I have to. I know you're being enslaved to do so. You will be remembered. Alright, let's take down some of these other guys. There we are. Alright, let's move on to another question from Hiragingu. He asked, hold on. Let me take care of this brute. There we are. He asked, what do you think about Transformers Shattered Glass Universe? Unfortunately, Hiragingu, I have not, read those comics, so I can't give you an opinion, my friend. Sorry. Alright, here's another one. Here's another question from Hiragingu. He asked, what do you think about the film The Mystery of Coco? I like that film. I really like that film. Actually, when I watched Transformers 1, it kind of gave me the same vibe from that film a bit. With the villain and all that. With, I forget, the top singer guy who turned out to be just a fraud. And Sentinel Prime. Those two had the same vibe that they were going for. Like this big, like being charismatic, well-loved individuals while turning out to be nothing more than just, frauds and traitors and all that stuff. Alright. I'm sorry, Mr. Hurricane. You will be avenged. The Sunshine will pay for your enslavement. Alright. Oh, Ernesto. That's it. Thank you, Lucifer. My bad. It's been a while since I watched those films, so... Ernesto and Sentinel Prime, yes. There we go. Thank you for correcting me on that. Rangers, and more specifically... Ugh. Alright. Ugh. But yeah, back to the question. Yeah, I honestly I really do need to watch that film again. It really, I think it's one of the few non-Disney animated. Wait, no, was it Disney that did that one? Did Mystery of Coco? I don't think so. Question mark. But I think it's one of the few non-Disney animated films that actually is really, really, really good in a while. Alright, hang on. Let me take care of this Evocati. Come on. There we go.
We're good here, sir. You can head back to your bird.
Alright, moving on to another question from Rising Fire. He asked, if you had to write a Transformer story, how would you go about doing it? Talking about the characters, settings, plot, etc. Oh, ooh, that's a very good question. If I had to make a Transformers story arc, I don't know. I think I would honestly want to do it set on Cybertron after the Great War. Sort of like how Transformers Animated did it, but different, if that makes sense. Like,
Got banshees all over us.
Lieutenant, I'm sending you Jordan's space.
I mean,
Neutralize the
something kind of like, Harry Potter a little bit? Like, Optimus Prime, a story where Optimus Prime wins the Great War, but in the process, he kind of loses his memories. Kind of in the same way Optimus did in, Transformers Prime, when he used up the power of the Matrix of Leadership, and reverted back to his Orion Pax phase, and kind of seeing Megatron's spark kind of enduring and kind of persisting a bit. Kind of like how Beast Machine's Megatron's spark kind of flip-flop between bodies. Kind of like that. I don't know. It's kind of a convoluted way of doing it. I'm not sure. I'm not really good in Transformers lore and stuff like that, like I am with Halo. But if I were to make a story about a Transformers thing, it would be kind of like Optimus Prime kind of rediscovering himself, while also taking down Megatron as he resurrects himself in that kind of capacity. Something like that. Alright, so moving on to another question from Rising Fire. He asked, what's your opinion on the Minecraft movie? What has been presented so far at the least? I want to try and be as generous as I possibly can. It looks crap. Sorry, it just, the graphics, all that stuff, the visuals just look absolute crap. It just, honestly, if I, like, seeing that the whole, what was the,
Copy 2-7, help is on the way.
what was the
Sending you coordinates for the Violent Tower. Go get those
the
troops
sheep
back.
or the cow thing kind of reminded me of the OG Sonic the Hedgehog trailer with the very, 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 very ugly, ugly Sonic. That is what's reminding me of that. And the whole Steve thing from Jack Black is just really just like just what? What? I mean, I like Jack Black. He is a great actor. He's not at all a bad actor, at the very least. I know he's just doing his job. But in this instance, I'm like, why does there need to be a Minecraft movie? It's just a building block game, honestly. Like, what is the whole point of making a Minecraft movie? I just don't understand this. I just don't. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not gonna watch the movie, but I mean, props to whoever will. I mean, if you want to see it, go right ahead, I guess. Alright, let's take down several of these Mechalengolo, huh? There we are. Go! Come on! Come on! Oh, just die already. Where's the other one? Oh, there he is. Oh. Come on. There we go.
That got him. Over here, Spartan. Thanks for the hand. Almost out of ammo.
Alright, let's take care of this jammer. There we are. Alright, now let's see where we're at. Oh, we got Hiroyu's question. Let me just take a pause so I can scroll down and answer some more questions. Alright. So, Hiroyu's question is, what is your opinion about analog horrors? Analog horrors.
Head on out.
don't really know what those are, but in my defense, I just don't like horror in general. I'm not a big fan of horror, so I can't really give you an opinion on that. Here you go, my friend. Sorry. Oh, here we go. For those for those here who are veterans of the of Covenant Canon's previous live streams, we have Supreme Commander Cam Va Alamai, aka Colt. And he has a bunch of questions after, what, a few months of AFK from these, from Q&A stuff? So, yeah, and from the looks of it, he is making up for lost time, it looks like.
Out a mobile jammer to mess with our short range. Sending you the waypoint. Go
Alright.
with it.
Here we go. Alright. So, his first question is, how are you doing today? I'm doing okay, Colt. I'm doing very okay. A little tired, but, I'm doing fairly well. His next question is, have you had water today? I have not had water, but I am keeping myself hydrated. Alright, let's take care of some of these cubbies. Alright, let's take care of that jammer. There we go.
Good work,
Okay, moving on to his another question. After Thel was made into the Arbiter, who took over as Kaidan of Vadam Keep? No one, because he still is the Kaidan of Vadam, even after becoming Arbiter. He did have a keep master administering his keep. Kaidans don't. He did not abdicate as Kaidan. He still retained the title even after the Covenant War ended. Even, especially before the war, before the Blooding Years began, he preferred to be called as a Kaidan rather than an Arbiter. So yeah. Let me see if I can try and gun down some of these cubbies from here. Alright. There we go. So yeah. He's still, Thel Vadam is still the Kaidan of Vadam and also the Arbiter of the Swords of St. Helios and the entire St. Helios species. It's just, he's just piling on that title with others as well. Actually, his nickname is the Kaidan of Unity because of his efforts to unite the St. Heli under one banner. Oh! Oh, who's shooting me right now? Oh, you little... There we go. There we go.
There's an elevator on the north land.
Haha! There we go. Alright, moving on to another question from, Colt. He asked, what is the coolest non-military title in the Covenant that you know of? I would say either, the coolest non-martial title. The non-military title. I would say either Marshal or High Kaidan. Those are more political offices than military ones. But yeah, I do like those titles. We don't really know much about the Marshal title,
You're close
But,
to the jammer. Destroy it.
but High Kaidon is pretty much like a very prestigious Kaidon who pretty much,
It's a trap. Get the hell
at
out
least
of there.
I think, they rule over Sangheili worlds, or vast amounts of territory, compared to most Kaidons. Kind of like higher esteemed Kaidons, if that makes sense.
Terminal is clear
Alright,
for now.
moving on
Return
to
to
another
your
question
side and stand by for
from
inspection.
Colt. He asked, how do you feel about the new Artas Vadum armor coming to Halo Infinite? I really like the armor. It looks really cool. I like how they added the whole, one side has a mandible on the helmet and the other doesn't.
New order.
It's a good
Evacuated from Oni HQ.
homage to
Confirm Oni Tower evac.
the half jaw.
Noble 2.
And honestly, I'm very much looking forward to earning the armor next few
Get
days.
that evac started.
Roger that.
Alright, moving on to another question from Supreme Commander, and he asks, will you go to Worlds next year? Unless there is some other event that's happening, which I hope there is not, yes, I will definitely be going to HCS next year. I will definitely be going there. The only reason why I wasn't able to go to this year's Worlds event was because my brother got married the week after that event. It was too close of a time for me to go, unfortunately, so I had to make a sacrifice, but I'm glad I did that because the wedding went off without a hitch and the weather was very, very, very nice.
Third service is down.
So yeah.
Whiskey 3-7.
Alright,
Solid copy, command.
let me take care of this last turret. Alright. Okay, moving on to another question from Supreme Commander, and he asked, are there still old Sangheili ships that are yet to be found and operated and appropriated by the swords? To my knowledge, I don't think so. I don't think there's any more Sangheili ships that, old Sangheili ships that the swords haven't used at this point. I'm sure there is, but, to my knowledge, at the very least, I don't think so. I think all the ancient Sangheili ships that we know of have been appropriated by the sword at this point.
Whiskey 3-6, proceed
Alright.
with evac.
I copy, command. Thanks.
But, if there is, please let me know in the comments, guys, because I might have a lot of knowledge into Sangheili lore, but my knowledge is not, infinite. Pun intended there. Alright. Oh, hang on. Why is my mic doing that? Hang on. If my mic was, a little low, sorry. Sometimes my XLR has been playing tricks on me and it likes decreasing for some reason. I'm not sure why. Alright, let's land and see Cat Eye. There we go. Alright, moving on to another question from Supreme Commander, and he asked, what is your favorite ship if we don't count the Varric pattern heavy cruisers? Oh, that's easy. If I were to pick a Covenant ship other than the Varric slash ORS, I would say the Covenant carriers. The Siphon, the Corel, and even the super carriers from Reach, honestly. I don't know why. I really like the design pattern of those carriers. But if I were to pick another one, I would say the CCS, or maybe even the Corvettes from the game, honestly. I'm not entirely sure. But if I were to, actually, let me do this. Let me do a top 3. First would be the Covenant carriers, the Corel, the Siphon, and all that stuff. Second would be the Kel pattern, the CCS class battle cruisers, and the Zadar corvettes, or the SDV corvettes. If my memory is correct on that, I think they are.
Kelly's right. It does seem like overkill. Sending us back here for a simple demo op. Only thinks it's worth it.
Alright, so moving on to another question. What can you tell us about the upgrades the Shadow of Intent received, such as runic plating and how it affects it? I honestly, Colt, I can't really give you an honest-to-God answer because I don't remember that much myself. It's been a hot minute since I've read Warfleet, and I do know that Shadow of Intent did receive upgrades, like you said, runic upgrades, plating and all that stuff, but I don't know to what extent that does. I do know that it has simulation chambers, not unlike the Infinities from Halo 4, Halo 5, and I think Infinite? I think? No, not Infinite, because they have the Sergeant Johnson Academy. But, yeah, that's the extent I know about Shadow of Intent's upgrades at this point. But yeah. Alright. Let's move on to another question from Supreme Commander. And he asks, so far, what is your favorite short story on Halo's YouTube channel? I assume you're referring to, the Waypoint Chronicles, the audiobooks that we've been getting lately. If that is the case, my favorite short story has to be the Battle for the Blood Moon short story, which came out last year, I believe, where the Swords of St. Helios and a team of Spartans help repel the Banished off Suban, which is still an ongoing battle at this point. And honestly, I love it because, simply speaking, it's just, simply put, it's just like it's one of the few non-human stories that we have thus far. I do know that we're getting a Great Schism short story this month in celebration of Halo 2's 20th anniversary. And honestly, I don't like the idea of Halo 2 being 20 years old, because it just makes me feel more old than I already am. Why is my XLR doing that? Why does it keep on decreasing for some reason? I don't know. Alright. Moving on to another question from Supreme Commander. He asked, what short of a story would... Okay. What sort of a story would you like the next Halo game to... Oh wait, hang on. Let me repeat myself. What sort of a story would you like to see in the next Halo game when it gets released?
Noble team. Falcon group has landed.
I would like to see... I think I mentioned this before in a previous stream, but I would like to see like the whole Endless arc take shape in a way that kind of satisfies Halo fans. Because I've seen a lot of people complain about the Endless. Oh, they're too OP, but we don't know nothing about them. They're supposed to be greater than the Flood, but we don't know anything about them. And honestly, I just want to see their stories fleshed out, that actually makes it understandable why they're so much of a threat, as we heard in Halo Infinite. And I would like to see Aatrox taking a center stage as the villain of the next Halo game. And honestly, I would like to see him not die. I would like to see him continue on as the villain of the next Halo games. Honestly, I honestly love Aatrox, man. I want to see him continue on being the badass brute who just loves taking down such iconic individuals in Halo. Whether it be Red Team, the Flood, or even Master Chief. Alright. Let's move on to another question. If Nakai was a member of the High Council, how would he behave in the political arena, and what sort of things would he be driving for? I mean, even if he was part of the Covenant High Council, I don't think Nakai really would have... Honestly, I don't know, because we don't really know much about the Sangheili political arena in the Covenant at this point, because we know about the San Shayum stance with Covenant politics, which is pretty much scheming and subterfuge and stuff like that, but we don't really know much about Sangheili politics in the High Council. So honestly, I don't really know what kind of answer I would give, honestly, for Nakai potentially being part of the Covenant High Council, because like I said, there's not really much that we know what the elites did other than the honorable approach and all that stuff, the martial decisions and all that stuff. Honestly, if I would have to give a general guess, I would say maybe he would kind of strive to increase the war effort by supplying more Sangheili, more arms to Covenant troops and all that stuff. I guess that's the only clear-cut answer I can give you there, Cam. Alright. Moving on to another question from Cam. He asked, what is your reaction when Unreal Engines was revealed at HCS? I thought it looked absolutely great. I loved, it just looked absolutely gorgeous. It looked absolutely gorgeous. I loved how, the sea-inspired armor. I love seeing, the Sangheili mercenaries retain their look. What else? I loved how they presented the energy sword. It just looked absolutely beautiful. But yeah, I'm very happy to see that Halo is still at the forefront. The next Halo game is still at the forefront of 343's attention at the moment. And honestly, I can't wait to see what they dish out in the years to come. Alright. Alright, moving on to another question from Supreme Commander, and he asked, how do you feel, hang on. How do you, no, I can't speak right now, my brain's already in shutdown mode. How do you see the female Sangheili and the Swords of Sanghelios? What do they bring to the table? I like the idea of the Swords of Sanghelios kind of drifting away from the patriarchal style of military service, because I kind of like the idea of the Swords of Sanghelios kind of modernizing their culture a bit to also incorporate female elites. And as to what I think they can bring to the table, like I said, I honestly think they can help modernize the whole Sanghili social structure,
In here.
if that makes sense, honestly. Alright. Let me just activate this, and I shall, while this cutscene is moving on, I will drift on down to see more questions from you guys. Here we go.
Looks like they got themselves cornered. Or we're...
Alright. So, another question from Supreme Commander, and he had asked, are there any story continuations you would like to see? Maybe from characters who have been killed off? Oh, yes. Actually, I would very much like to see,
Spartans, you cannot allow
Imperial Admiral Zaitin Jarwatinri's story being fleshed out, because, in Ghost of Onyx, he's described as this
defending the lab. Get them online.
legendary Sanghili warrior who never lost a battle, who even the prophets feared and even drove into exile. Honestly, I would like to see how he got this reputation and how he became such a legendary figure, becoming literally the Alexander the Great of the Sanghili. I would love to see that, honestly, in my opinion. And honestly, I would like to see more of Thelvadam's military career during the Human Covenant War. We did get a little bit of that. We did get some of that in the Cole Protocol, and a little bit more with the H2A terminals. But honestly, I would like to see more and more of the story elements behind Thelvadam's life explored more, in my honest opinion. Alright. Let me try and snag some of these Banshees. Come on. Come on, Mr. Banshee. Come on. Come to your Kaiden. Come on. You see me. Come on. Shoot. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yes! Gotcha! Alright. Alright. Let's... Come on. Alright, let's move on to another question from Supreme Commander, and he asks, which Arbiter armor is your favorite? Is Arbiter Mormi's armor, Mormi's Arbiter armor, Vadam's, or perhaps even Gatanai's armor? Okay, so he's asking me, which is my favorite Arbiter armor? Good question. That's a very good question. And truth be told, I'm not really sure. Honestly, I really like Morami's armor the most, honestly. But Gatanai's armor is very cool as well. But so is Thelvadam's armor from Halo 2 Anniversary. It's a very hard question. But if I have to choose my top three, I would say Morami's would be first, Gatanai's would be second, and Thelvadam's H2A armor would be third, in my opinion. And let's move on to another question from the last question from Supreme Commander, and he asked, speaking of Gatanai, how did you find him? Was his story good in your opinion? What would you have done differently with him? I really liked Var Gatanai. I loved his whole vibe as like a former Supreme Commander turned Arbiter. I liked how he was pretty much the main villain of Season 2 of the Halo show. The one thing I would have changed differently is that I wouldn't have killed him off. I would have kept him as a villain in Halo. Because, honestly, his story is something I would really wanted to see more fleshed out. I wanted to see how he became Arbiter. Like, what did he do that caused him to be branded with shame as normal Arbiters would? And I really want to see, I really would have liked to see him kind of transform in sort of the same way Thel Vadam did in the Halo games. What else? Honestly, I think that's it, honestly. In my opinion. But yeah, I really liked Vargintonai's story, honestly. His story made more sense to me than Master Chief's did in the first 2 seasons, honestly. I liked his arc much better. Alright. And that does it for Supreme Commander. Alright, let's move on to Hirigingu. And he asked a bit of a personal question. If you don't want to, you don't have to answer this question. Do you have a fear that you will... Did you have a fear that you would be able to overcome with time? Oh, okay, now I think I understand this. Let me try this again. Did you have a fear that you were able to overcome with time? A fear that I was able to overcome with time. Oh, I guess kind of. My fear of tornadoes. This is a very personal story, but I'm okay telling this. Back when I was in middle school, I went to Orlando, Florida, to go to Universal Studios, and I went on the Twister ride, and that ride traumatized me for a very, 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 very long time. Every time there was like a very dark cloud in the sky, I used to wet myself in fear, thinking there was going to be a tornado or something. It's honestly, that fear was really overcame with a lot of time. I think by the end of my college year, I was able to overcome that fear, honestly. And honestly, I'm not really ashamed of it. It's kind of a stupid fear, but it was a fear that I was able to overcome a lot now. And honestly, there was a tornado, well, kind of more of a water spout, a few months ago, and I was completely oblivious to it. And I was, I wasn't even terrified. I was more like, what, really?
I'm opening the laboratory door.
But I guess that's the only fear that I remember at the top of my head that I would say I overcame a bit. So yeah.
Doors open, Noble 6. Get to the lab.
Alright. Moving on to another question from Connor Lawson. He asked, if Nakai would be interested, would he travel to Earth? And if so, which country would he like to visit? I think I answered this question. I think I was given this answer a few months ago, actually. But I'll answer again. If Nakai ever were to visit Earth, I think he would be interested. And if he did, I would say he'd want to visit, like, countries that were home to, like, legendary warriors. Like, for example, visiting Greece to see the OG Spartans. Japan to see the OG samurais, like that sort of thing. Aw, damn it! I was trying to do the legendary jump. Boo. Alright, let me see. Nope. Alright, let me try one more time. Alright, gotta time this right. Alright, here we go. Come on. Ah, Okay, that's it. I'm not doing this. Oh, I used to get the hang of it so often back in the day when Reach was first out, but now I'm just terrible at it. Alright. Alright, let's go over here now. There we go. Alright. But yeah, like I said, I would say he would want to visit Greece, the homeland of the OG Spartans, Japan for the samurais, and probably Scandinavia for like Vikings and stuff like that. Kind of like homeland. He would be mostly interested in like the histories of ancient warriors of humanity that he would probably respect, I would say, if he were to visit Earth at all time. If ever, if you want to visit Earth, I mean. Alright. Okay, moving on to another question from Connor Lawson. He asked, and if Nakai had to take an Earth Sword... Okay, and if Nakai had to take an Earth Sword, what would he take? A katana, a kabesh, or some other sword? Good question. I guess if he were to take any sword, I'd say maybe the katana, because of how similar its meaning was to the Japanese as like the energy sword or curved blade is for the Sangheili, I guess, if you were to take any other sword. I think? No, I would say the katana. I would say the katana. Alright. Before I answer any more questions, I got to evade these scarabs.
Remember your objective.
It really sucks that we weren't able to fight these things in Reach, like we were in Halo 2 and ODST. Oh, hang on. Moving along, moving along, moving along. Alright. Right. Yeah. Alright, and I'll jump it. Alright. As soon as we make this jump, I will answer more questions from Connor. And whoop! There we go. Alright. Just gonna hide inside here. Okay, moving on to another question from Connor. He asked, would you like to see more specializations for the grunts? Like a biohazard grunt that fires out toxic grenades, or a flamethrower grunt that was made in response to the flood? Yeah, I would like to see more specialized grunts. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Yeah, seeing like sea grunts, like those who travel in underwater conditions. We do have grunt rangers, though. Let me see. Yeah, kind of like the underwater grunts and biohazard grunts and stuff like that. That would be really interesting to see. I don't really have any more specialization before scuba diver grunts, I guess. Alright. And probably my last question. Would you like to see either kick yards with jetpacks or new Legolo forms in Halo games? Yeah, I would like to see both, honestly. New Legolo forms, kind of like the Slugmen would honestly be cool to see in the games. And jetpack kick yard would honestly be really cool to see. I mean, we kind of had those with the Rangers in Halo 4 and 5, honestly. I mean, kind of, but not really. But, you know what I mean. Oh, Slugmen, sorry. You're right, Isaac. Sorry about that. And yes, Isaac, you did made it. I hope I don't prove that much of a disappointment of a stream. I guess I'm not much of a big time streamer like others, unfortunately. Ah, come on. There we go. Oh, great. We have these suicide grunts. There we go. Come on. I didn't even touch that brute. It just went flying out the air. Oh, I don't know why that tickled me so much. Oh man. Oh, and here's another question from Oh, you were praising me on mentioning Slugman. Sorry about that. I thought you were correcting me.
I got your number.
Alright. Moving on to another question from Connor Lawson, and he asked, and speaking of scarabs, here's one question I always kind of had. Why do the Covenant name their vehicles after the type of human spirits and animals in the Scarab's case? I don't think the Covenant named the scarabs. I think that was a designation from, for humans to give, like bugs, creatures from mythologies and stuff like that. I think the reason why, the Covenant, call their vehicles scarabs, ghosts, stuff like that, just for, the sake of audiences, so they don't confuse the Covenant designations for vehicles in comparison to human designations, if that makes sense. I hope that was kind of I hope I kind of explained that good, Connor. I probably didn't. If so, I apologize. Alright. I think that is the last question from Connor in Discord. That's the last question in Discord right now. Let me take care of some of these Yanme A, and I will try and answer some more questions. Yo, what? Let me see if I can answer some questions that may be lingering on in the live chat. I'm sure there's still a few. Alright. Let's see. Right. Let me see. Okay. So, Lone Wolf Dragon Slayer asked, Halo Reach Dogfire Star Fox like multiplayer mode? Like, Star Combat Beta? Yeah, that'd be a cool game, honestly. Kind of like seeing more aerial combat games in, during the Human Covenant War. Like, the Battle for Meridian. And for those of you who don't know, the reason the Battle of Meridian went on as it did was because, the local Meridian Air Force was able to hold back the Covenant for a long period of time. So a game set on Meridian would honestly be really cool, honestly, for those who like Starfighter games. Alright. Hang on. Let me take care of some of these skirmishers, and I will see if there are any more questions in the live chat. Alright. Let me see. Okay, WildGamer2205 asks, why do the Covenant not use camo patterns in their armor? Use camo patterns. Oh, okay, like how humans use like camo in military uniforms, stuff like that. I think the reason for that is because they use the active camo, because that's more like futuristic alien version of the camo patterns, I guess.
Of the Pillar of Autumn.
We are tracking you, Noble, and we've begun our launch sequence. Proceed to dry dock.
Alright, the next
I'll be on it.
question is from the Dragon, and he asks, what do you think the hardest skull? What do you think the hardest skull to get? I don't really hunt for skulls, the Dragon. I don't really hunt for them at all, really. I'm more in for the story lore, not really a hardcore hunter for skulls and achievements and stuff like that, so I don't really have a definitive answer for that one, honestly. Oh, I gotta take care of some of these cubbies. Ugh. Okay, I gotta get the cover. Okay, moving on to another question from Isaac. He asked, why aren't there more patterns for the ORS heavy cruiser? Is there like any different models for the heavy cruisers? I'm pretty sure there are different cruiser models. I think the ORS is like one of those different patterns for a cruiser. I'm not sure if there are like different variations like stealth or combat support cruisers or something like that. I'm sure there are like, we do know that ORSs are usually flagships of small fleets and stuff like that, so I guess there could be stealth variations of ORSs for like undercover operations, stuff like that. But don't really have much of an answer beyond that, honestly. Isaac. Sorry. Okay. Sizoth asks, who would win a fight, Godzilla or Olympia Vale? But she's the same size as Godzilla. Olympia Vale, because she's a Spartan. She's a genetically enhanced Spartan who's the size of Godzilla. And Godzilla has a lot of perks, but Olympia Vale has power armor and is like so maneuverable. I'm sorry, I love Godzilla, but I don't see how Godzilla can survive against a humongous super soldier. Sorry. Sucks off. I'm sure Godzilla would put up a good fight, but I don't know. Okay, moving on to the last question for the moment, which is from Lucifer. He asked, what would Nakai's favorite cat be? I feel like he appreciates a snow leopard. Would appreciate a snow leopard due to their grace and prowess. Full disclosure, I don't like cats. I don't think Nakai would like cats either in that case. Sorry, Lucifer, I'm just not a cat person, and and honestly, like I said, I don't think my character would like cats either. I think he'd be more of a dog person, if anything else. But I think if there was any dog he would like, I guess it might be a wolf or a German Shepherd or something like that. If there's any close comparison to something like that on St. Helios, maybe a Doramir, I guess. But yeah, I guess that's the closest comparison I would probably say in terms of wanting a pet. If that makes sense.
I'm in place.
Okay, well, I think that does it for the Q&As. Thank you all for joining up for this monthly live stream. Like I said, for everyone else in the beginning, if you want to have your questions answered for next month's live stream, all you need to do is join up on Covenant Canon's Discord. Like I said, if you don't know where that is, it can be found in the description box below. all you need to do is just go to the link, join up, and share your questions in the Q&A submission channel in the community tab. Like I said, just make sure it's appropriate, and nothing vulgar or anything like that. But, yeah, I think that does it for this month. Thank you all for joining. If you guys like what you see from Covenant Canon, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I will try to post more content lately. I'm presently working on a newest project at the moment, which I did share a bit in the community section of YouTube. If you want to go check that out, that is what I am working on. But until then, guys, have a good rest of your day and have a good rest of your month. I will see you next time. But until then, may the light of Urs guide your path. This is Nakai Vodar, signing off.